Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about why working 40 hours a week is not going to amount to anything significant in your life. So guys, greatness or extraordinary results in any degree or fashion is not going to come from just a 40-hour work week. We live in a time now where, like I said, we have a lot of goals, we have a lot of ambitions, we want to make a certain amount of money, and every average person that I know that makes like not that much money, or maybe they make a lot of money but it took them 30 years to do it, they all wasted their time that they had to themselves outside of their 40 hours. So you have to look at your time when you get home or your days off as very precious time. Like that's your time where it's like that's your make or break hours, right? So what you don't want to do is be like everyone else. Everyone else goes home after a 40-hour work week and eases the pain that comes from their shitty existence in their job. And what do I mean by that? Well, that's obviously, we go home, we self-sabotage, we distract ourselves with social media, we obsess over a sports team, we play video games, right? We go out, right? So these are all behaviors of, and I'm not saying these things are bad things in and of themselves, but what I'm trying to say is that like a lot of people use these things as escapisms, and at the end of the day, if you guys have the goal of becoming financially free, if you guys want to be successful, if you guys want to run your own business, you guys want to maybe you don't want to run your own business, but you want to be self-employed, you want to do like something that's handy, right? Like you want to just not be average, right? You want to make a good living. You have to use your off time like it's make or break, like it's absolute make or break. Like it's literally like if I don't work in these off hours, I die. That's how I look at my time off, right? I used to, and here's the thing too. It's funny that, when we go to school, I used to always hate doing homework. But one thing about homework that taught me something, it taught me that, as much as the assignments were bullshit, basically, like everyone knows that we hate doing like school assignments. But what that taught me, doing homework when I didn't feel like it or after a long day of work, that taught me to suck up the feeling of being tired, suck up the feeling of, feeling like the day's over and actually having to push forward and push through and do the shit anyway, right? And it's the same thing with your goals, your dreams, your side hustle, your business that you want to create, that you want to get off the ground. It's the same mentality, right? Your off hours are not for play, right? Especially if you're a guy, there's no such thing as play. In the book Hard Times Create Strong Men by Stephen Arnio, he actually died a few years back, so rest in peace, but he wrote something very profound in there, and he said that the play and leisure is for women and children. Men are designed to be workhorses, right? That is our primary function. That's why our bodies are rugged. That's why we're intellectually fortuitous, right? To a degree. That's why we're, we have testosterone and we have such a high drive to conquer and move and do extraordinary things, because we are designed to provide for a family, right? That's our biological design, right? That's what our function, our body structure is for. It's for work, right? So this whole idea that you're just gonna go home after your 8-hour day and for the next 7 hours, right? Let's say you work 7 to 3, you get home at 3. Like, bro, you can't tell me that from 4 to 10 o'clock at night or 4 to 9 o'clock at night, you don't have time to work on your side hustle. I'm sure there's things you're doing in between those 4 to 10 hours that isn't good for you, that isn't going to be beneficial to your future, that isn't going to help you in any degree, right? And that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at it like, okay, I know I'm tired. I know my job is annoying. I know I get stressed out. I know that I don't like my job, and I know that I have to deal with gossip, or I have to deal with all these things I despise at my job, right? But the easy thing to do is what everyone else does, and like I said, that's self-sabotage. That's waste your time. That's distract yourself. That's go out and party or do stupid shit or go out to bars and clubs and shit, right? That's what everyone does, right? Friday night, it's lit. We getting a break from the work week, right? If you're someone who wants to live a financially free life, if you're someone who wants to live a successful life, a great life, an intellectually rewarding life, or you want to provide for a family, or you want to, just do great things, right? Like if you're not content with a 40-hour job, a medium to low wage job, right? Which I assume most of you are not, then you have to treat your off hours like it's make or break. Like those hours are an absolute make or break for your life. And I used to struggle too, because like I said, I'm just like everyone else. I hate school, right? I hated my low paying position at my job, right? And there'll be times where I would go home and I would watch porn, right? I would play video games for excessive hours, right? And I look back, and I'm only 24, so I'm not saying I wasted decades, but there's a good 2 to 5 years that I know I could have really dialed in. Especially, some of you guys are new, but there's been times where I'd upload YouTube videos for 2 months straight, and then another 2 months after that I'd take a break, or another 6 months I'd take a break. And I was just so fed up with my life, right? I was so fed up with living at home. I was so fed up with being in college, living where I was in Massachusetts. It was very cold, right? Like I'm not saying I have bad parents, but my family's very loud. They're very vocal. There's TVs playing in every room. So my inability to focus was there. And I'm not saying it's a good excuse, but you have to treat your off time like it's precious, right? So if let's say you're someone right now and you work 40 hours, or maybe you go to school, right? Maybe you don't work, but you go to school and you want to start a business, work on a side hustle, have that side hustle turn into a full-time thing. There's options. If you need to get away from your family, right, to work, you can go to the library. Like, go to your local town library. I think that's something that we don't necessarily do a lot of anymore. Like, I feel like in the past that was something people did. Like, they went to the library and they would study, right? They'd get away from their family. They'd get away from all the noise and the distractions, right? So just bring your laptop, or just bring a book, right? And study, right? Study a marketing course you're taking, or study something that whatever you're trying to learn, go study that at the library, right? Get away from your family. And you don't have the excuse anymore, right? Because for years I had the excuse, like, damn, bro, like when I get home, my parents are annoying. They're always asking me to do shit. They're always in my face. They're always asking me, like, if I try to leave, they're always asking me where I'm going, when I'll be back, right? Or they're always calling, like when I do leave, they'd always call me, right? So I never really had that freedom. But I think, like I said, try to just, if you're in that situation where you need to use your off hours to your best capability, I think the library is a really good strategy, right? Or, if you can't go to the library, bro, get in your car and just work from get in your car, drive away to some parking lot, or drive somewhere. Go to like a Starbucks. Like there's a lot of people that go to like Starbucks or Dunkin', and they'll just work on their laptop, bro. There's no excuse. There's ways to find the time to do what you need to do. So I think that's something a lot of people don't understand, right? So just understand, like, bro, like, if you're at home, like me, I'm lucky now. I live on my own, so I have all the time in the world when I get off work. I have no distractions, right? I have no one living with me. I have no TVs blaring in my ears, right? So for me, fortunately, like, I live on my own, and I'm grateful, and it allows me the autonomy to create videos without interruption. Thank freaking God, it only took 5 years. But yeah, and another thing too is, like, you need to be, if you're in your early 20s, like, and you're trying to like really like achieve success or get like some momentum going, you have to like really, I look at my off time like there is no off time, right? So like, I talked here about a side hustle. I talked about like studying a course or learning a skill like in your off time. But another thing too, it's like, bro, if you don't want to do that, like, bro, just get another job. That's another thing too I talk about a lot, but it's very like underrated. Bro, get another job so you're just not home, right? You can't, if you're working 16 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, yeah, it's tiring, yeah, it sucks, but think about it. You're not engaging in vice, you're not out and about, you're not spending money, right? You're not out and about spending money at a club, or you're not spending money on dates because you're working, right? So obviously, you know, you want to aim to work more with your mind and work smarter as you progress in life. But I don't think if you're someone who's in your late teens or early 20s, I don't think working a second job is necessarily a bad idea, especially if you're trying to get away from vice and get away from addictions and substances that could hinder your growth and screw up your mind and your body. So just understand, like, the pressure's on, especially if you live here in the US, right? Like, I talk a lot about living in the United States and the crappy situation of the economy, and you know, the just the horrible inflation and everything in between, right, that I talk a lot about here and everyone else talks about. But if you follow what I talked about here, I don't think you can go wrong, right? If you're constantly working, if you're constantly thinking and being creative, and you're on the cusp every day, right? And that's not to say you won't have difficult times, or times where you struggle with boredom or distraction, or you feel lazy and you skip out on a day. But all in all, if you're consistent with your off time, and you're working and you're studying and you're learning and you're doing the things you're supposed to do on a consistent basis, and you're not self-sabotaging, bro, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be absolutely good. I don't think you can fail, right? You may, like I said, you may have struggles, you may have hurdles that come in the way at certain points, but like I said, working the 40 hours is what everyone else does. Look at everyone else. You want to be like everyone else? Do you want to be that guy who's 60 and still working, or 70 and still working? Like, this, it's funny, but there's this guy that just started working at my job, and he's like 55, right? And I'm like, bro, like, in my head, I'm like I obviously I had a good conversation with him, and I just talked about like his life story and, you know, where he worked before and everything. But in my head, I'm like, bro, that sucks. And bro, like, it's funny because he works like second shift, and his boss is someone who's like 23. He's my age, and he's telling him like what to do. It's like, bro, do you want to be the 55-year-old dude working in a gas station being told what to do by a 22-year-old, right? Like, realistically, guys, I'm telling you, you have to think like this. Like, bro, if you don't, like, I always think to myself, yo, if I don't work in my off hours, if I'm not creating like the life I want, I'm gonna be literally in a shitty, horrible position, like I just mentioned about this guy working second shift at 55 years old, making $14 an hour, right? Like, that is hell to me. I don't know if that's hell to you guys. I'm assuming you guys would not want to be in that position, but that sounds like an absolute nightmare to me. And like I said, if you're consistent with your off hours, and you're turning those off hours into on hours, and you're moving, you're being intellectually creative, you're studying, you're producing, right? Or you're working at another job, bro, you're gonna be fine. And you do that for consistently years and years and years and years, bro, you're gonna beat the competition. And those people that are in their 30s, right, that wasted their 20s, are gonna be looking at you like, yo, what the hell? Like, how did you get there so quick? And you'll just be that guy who's like, hey man, I just worked in my off hours, I didn't waste time, right? A lot of you people wasted time, and that's why you're in the position you're at right now. So yeah, guys, I hope this video helps you. If this video has helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.